I'm running because I believe that we can do some things different in the 30th District. This is our moment for the 30th District to take a look at our leadership, to take a look at our district in comparison to the districts that are around the Metroplex. I would challenge you to take a look at what's happening in the state of Texas. Texas has fast become the favorite place to relocate corporations from around the country. From California to New York, they're all clamoring to get into Texas because we have an economic-friendly policy and a business-friendly state. And so they're coming to Texas, but the one place that they're not coming is to the 30th District. I had a chance to talk with a few corporate leaders with Cisco Corporation, which is a data system, and they work in the internet systems, and they're building one of the largest data systems in the Dallas Metroplex area. And they're building up in Allen, Texas. And I asked him, why would you build in Allen, Texas, when you have all of this geography here in the 30th District and in the southern sector? And you can just see they sort of drop their eyes, and there is a perception of our district that they don't want to come here because we're not friendly towards business. We need to change that. And we need to change it because if we're going to survive in this economy, or if we're going to develop the 30th District, it can be competitive with other districts around here, we've got to attract businesses in here. And that means we've got to change our leadership. Part of what's happening, men and women, is that when people think of the leadership in the 30th District, they see contention. They see one of our leaders suing the other in court, the other one calling in names in the newspaper. We got corruption with the constables. That does not create an environment where businessmen can say, I want to go open a business in that district. They are insecure because they don't believe that the leadership has their best interest in mind. We've got to change that. And the only way we can change that is to exercise our franchise to vote. And to vote for those men and women who have the same values that we have. Principled leadership with integrity. Not in it for themselves. Not in it for self-aggrandizement. Not in it to try to see how much money they can get out of it. But rather for the best interest of the district. Part of the job description to be an elected official is to represent the interests and the needs of the district, of the people to whom you serve. And that means jobs, men and women. That means businesses coming to our district so that we can have businesses opening here. And when you have businesses opening in our district, it produces a family-friendly environment. Family-friendly environment means that families will move to our district, will buy homes in our district, will raise their families here because they can find a job here. Right now, what is happening for many of us, if the truth be told, we're having to drive to Frisco, Plano, we have to drive to Richardson and all the way to far north Dallas to find a job. That ought not be the case. My son ought to be able to graduate from college, come back to the 30th District, start his family here, and find a job in the 30th District. That's not the case. And I think that's not the case because we have not been good stewards of electing the kind of officials who have a vision and a strategy to implement a strategy to bring businesses into our district. Why is it that the southern district, the southern part of Dallas, has not developed? When you look at it geographically, it has more land to develop than any other district across the Metroplex, but they're still not coming here. I submit to you it's not because we don't have enough geography or that there's not enough possibilities here. The problem is leadership. The problem is leadership. The ability to use leadership skills and to craft a strategy that is both tactical and has long-term and short-term implication. What we can do in order to attract businesses here into this district is to be intentional. By that I mean utilizing our bully pulpit from Washington, D.C. as a representative, working with the business interests in the 30th District, working with community leaders, with our academic community, and crafting a strategy together, and then going intentionally to to New York, to California, and across this country, and standing in corporate America's offices and saying, we want you to move your business to the 30th District. And we're going to do everything we can to help you to make that transition and make it a successful transition because we want you here creating jobs for our sons and for our daughters. That's not happening right now. That's not happening right now. And that needs to happen. We have too many assets in the 30th District. We got SMU that's butting up against it. We have UNT. We have Cedar Hill, and we have Mountain View College. We have a number of academic institutions that can support businesses if they come to our district by training a workforce that has the skill set required for them to access a 21st century economy. It's here. The issue is not that we don't have the assets and the ability to do it. We don't have the leadership. And men and women, if you don't have the leadership, I hold you responsible for that, and me. Because we have a right and a responsibility to make sure that we have the kind of leadership that has the innovation, the creativity, and the willingness and the intention to go forward and to represent the best interest of our district. That hasn't happened. It hasn't happened. And so we've got to take a careful look at what's going on in our district. Take a look at our leaders. Take a look at them. See what they're doing. Are they working for us in terms of crafting a kind of strategy that would attract businesses in? That will begin to look at education a little differently?